Hello and welcome to The Resourceful Woman. Today I am going to be introducing an ambitious new project that I've been thinking about for about a year or so, and I'm finally kind of working up the guts to start to pursue it. This is going to be a thrifted and handmade capsule wardrobe. I've been looking at all of the stuff online about capsule wardrobes for a while, and I think it is an awesome idea to have just a few pieces that work really well together that you can swap in and out. And I also, am more and more and more relying on thrifting and hand making anything that I wear, trying not to buy anything new. So this seems like a pretty natural thing for me to do. What is really ambitious about it is that I really want to freshen up my look and kind of raise my game. So, um, what is the word? Raise my game. What to do with clothes? I can't remember. I used to be a real clothes horse. I would buy all kinds of clothes. I would go thrift shopping as often as I could. I just had a massive closet just full of cute little dresses and trousers and blouses and skirts and just everything. But a few things have happened that have really changed things for me. In my late 30s, I started to put on more weight. When I moved from San Francisco back to London, I was actually separated from my clothes for about 2 years. And by the time my clothes caught up with me, not only did they not fit my figure anymore, they also didn't really fit my age anymore. I had aged out of a lot of the things that I used to wear. And I would like to dress a little bit more nicely than I do. Since I've moved to Brighton, I've just been kind of always in jeans and t-shirts and not really trying to do anything much. But I miss dressing a little bit better, and I miss making that little bit of effort to look my best. So this idea that I had starting about a year ago, I thought, ooh, wouldn't it be fun to take a man's three-piece suit, the trousers, the waistcoat, the jacket, but take them all apart and refit them to my own body and kind of make it a little bit feminine. This idea, it was a wonderful idea in my head, but I could not get it off the ground. I went thrift shopping. I went from one shop to the other, to the other, to the other, and I couldn't find any men's three-piece suits to buy. So I was a little bit stuck. What I did wind up doing was I made this jacket that I think some of you will have seen before, where it was a men's blazer, and I took it home and I took it all apart and I gave it all this kind of embroidery on all the little bits and pieces. I spent weeks, probably a couple of months doing this. And then when I put it back together, I made all kinds of alterations to kind of cinch in the waist to, I changed the shape of the collar piece a little bit, I narrowed the sleeves, and I actually really had a lot of fun doing this, and ever since, this has been one of my favorite pieces because I just feel so connected to it and so proud of it. More recently, I have been getting more and more into knitting, and so I made this. This is just a little knitted shrug, which is actually also an upcycle. I unraveled the yarn from a shawl that I had made a couple of years ago when I was very bad at knitting and it was full of dropped stitches and holes, and so I just pulled that shawl apart and used it to make this lovely little shrug, which is, it's nice on its own, but it also goes really well as a kind of underneath this jacket. I think the colors suit really nicely, and if I want to go out and it's just a little bit too brisk outside for just the jacket, this shrug adds just that extra little warm layer, which is really nice. So these are the two pieces that I started with, and I thought, okay, and I have now decided, okay, I'm really going to try to pursue this man suit idea again. So I've gone on to some of the apps that you can use to kind of swap and thrift clothes, and I've actually found there are a bunch of men's suits. So I'm very excited. I've been kind of trolling through all of them, checking the sizes, checking the fabrics. One of the things I really want to focus on in this whole project is to make a wardrobe which is very breathable and has lots of very natural fibers. I've really tried to move away from all of the kind of like man-made fibers, and I think I want most of the things that I make or thrift or put together in this capsule wardrobe to be wool, cotton, and linen, and just kind of mostly stick to those three things. It made a good start so far, and I'm ready to move on to the next piece, which is just this blouse. This is something that I had bought at a thrift store a year ago, a little bit more maybe. I wasn't even looking for clothes at the time, but I happened to stumble across it, and it's a little bit big for me. It's a few sizes bigger, well, it's a lot of sizes bigger than what I wear. And so today, all I'm going to do is just make a few small alterations just to make it fit me a little bit better. And then I was thinking as well, it's got this kind of straight 3/4 length sleeve. And what I might do is maybe try to put a little bit of elastic or tie or something in there to give it just a little bit of poof, and just alter the sleeve in that way. So I'm just going to kind of noodle around with this. I'll take my measurements and see what can I do to kind of nip and tuck and pull and tug here and there on this blouse. I'm not going to make a lot of changes to it. I just tried it on, and it's mostly there. It's 75% of the way there, and it just needs a few bits and bobs done to it. So this isn't going to be a big project today, but I did want to introduce that I am now starting my homemade thrifted capsule wardrobe project, and over the coming, I don't know, weeks, months, however long it's going to take me, I will periodically check in and show you more of the things that I'm working on. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I'm now going to get started. Here's the before view of the shirt. It's really not too bad, just a bit oversized, and I think it would look better if it was fitted and less tent-like. I start by taking measurements of the areas where I'm going to be doing the nipping and tucking. I can compare these to the widths of the shirt to know how many centimeters I want to reduce, and then distribute those tucks evenly. I find 2 evenly spaced points down the center of the back and draw lines to guide where I will place the darts. Because I can't easily measure where on my back I want these to fall, I guesstimate lengths of the darts and pin it. This will be a process of try on and then try again. By trying it on earlier, I figured out that the tuck details in the bodice could be pulled together at the bottom to make a better fit around my ribs. Again, I estimated for the first pinning and will just adjust as needed. On the next attempt, I moved all of the previous darts up by a couple of centimeters and pulled in the seams at the sides. After another try-on, I lengthened the back darts and took in more fabric than previously, then did the same to the side seams. Altering a pre-made piece can sometimes be difficult because the fabric just isn't cut and gathered to your needs. But in this case, having particular corners, seams, and buttons already there made it easy to find what I needed to do and make the alterations evenly. With the front under the bust, first the tuck was too low, then it was too high.
I finally figured out that it needed to start even with the midpoint between the 3rd and 4th buttons, and then extend down to even with the 5th button. After one more try on, I was nearly there and just had to take in a little bit more all around. I drew lines where I intended to place the back and side seams and removed the pins so that I could sew in clean, uninterrupted lines. I folded the shirt so that the back seams were side by side to ensure that they had identical length and width. On the back and sides, I stitched the seams as darts, but on the front, I top stitched the folds into place. To make the puffed sleeve, I measured out the length of elastic that I needed to fit comfortably just above my elbow. I cut a tiny hole in the existing hem of the sleeve and used a bodkin to thread the elastic through that hem, then stitched the two ends together. And here is the final product. Not terribly different from the original, but it fits me better and it has a bit more shape to it. This will be a nice, versatile piece for my intended capsule wardrobe, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.